Hello, folks. Welcome, 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 folks. We are live. We are live, guys. So we're checking here. We're checking how everything. Can you see me very good? Can you hear me? You can hear me. You can see me. Let me know. Hello, folks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You hear me? Can you see me? We are real alive here, guys. Try to see. Still have a little bit of make sure the audio, the sound, the setting is good, guys. Hopefully, it's good. So we said welcome live. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Okay, guys. We are here later to speak multiple languages because if I speak different later on, just forgive me, okay? So today, we are going to talk about a great advice. As we know, we live in the number one to none countries, and we give our appreciation, or I give my appreciation as an individual for this country for giving me the opportunity to come here and try my best. And that's why everybody should give back the gratitude and to this country, especially if you live here. Is it perfect? It's not perfect, but compared to others places, it's number one to none. There's nothing like United States of America, guys, because the reason is different. It's not because it's different from other countries. It's just they symbolize it. Simplicity is a success always. Simplicity is a success. To complicate anything, it will go nowhere. To take simple, easy step, it will build an incredible thing. And since they give us a chance, and I know very well, everybody around the globe wish to have the opportunity to come to this country. And they have a big heart sometimes. But at the same time, they're human being, like the rest of us. But at least they're different because they went back. They go back. They went back to simplicity. They tried the hard way 250 years ago, and they realized it's not going to help them. So they put a simple step that can stabilize them. So stability is the major thing for any person to succeed. Because once you're stable, you don't have to look around you how you gonna get by today. So you're gonna be laser focused because you are stable. you will be a laser focus forward, and you're going to keep trying and experiment with a lot of stuff because life is about experiment. We human, we cannot predict exactly what the future hold or what you're going to achieve. But as a human being, our job is just to keep trying. But in order to try, you have to stable first, and then after that, you start doing experiments after experiment until you find something that is helping you. So, as we said, we had the privilege to come to this country. It's an amazing country. It's a country that your effort is the one going to determine your future, because the common thing between people is the stability. So everybody is stabilized, and so you don't have any excuses. So if you see somebody succeed because he took advantage about the stability they have, and that's why it take me back, because a place we came from, which is Africa, it's a normal place like the rest of the places, like the country we live in, and it has a potential. But we blame ourselves because as a human, we gotta, before you go and blame somebody else, you gotta start and blame yourself and fix your blind side. But the problem with us, we Black African or we African in general, we put the blame on other people before we fix our side. And I'm not here to say other people outside, they are not affecting you, but you the one will control everything. If you do the right thing, you will do whatever you want. But if you help other people to manipulate you and 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 play you, then it's on you, because you the one open the window to to manipulate you, because you are not doing a simple right thing. And I talk about it in so many videos, and we will keep talking about it, because we human, and the pay, face is to love other human being to succeed. To be faithful is to love other people to succeed. It's not just to love yourself. So even if you succeed by yourself, and people around you are struggling and they cannot eat, then you are not succeeding, because their vibe it affect you. But if all of you succeeds, all of you gonna produce a very productive environment that will help other people and help the next generation. But my topic today is going to be about advice to our big countries that help us. Especially, I'm going to talk about the countries that gave me opportunity. And when I said talk about it, it's not from the perspective of I have something. It's from the perspective of me loving it and try to put my advice, because from my experience, I'm not, it's not because I'm so very intelligent. It's but the privilege I did live in multiple areas, multiple places. It gave me a unique uh, perspective, and I believe it might help some. So this is to American people and American government with a big heart they have. They try to help anybody, and the saying. The phrase said, "Teach me how to fish, then you give me a fish," which is that the right concept. They try to tell the rest of people, the rest of the world, hey, we can teach you how to fish, then we give you a fish every day. Because there is a time our fish might not be enough. But if we teach you how to fish, then you can fish by yourself. But the point is, the place I disagree with is the way they implement it. Because they try to, American politicians, they try to implement it. It's a right concept, it's a right perspective, it's a right thing to do. But they try to implement it with one foot in, one foot out. And it's not going to work, especially from if you try to implement it to the people that are being in poverty for more than 100 years, they will not understand. So this is my advice to American politicians. Please stop kicking the can down the road, especially towards Africa. I know you got a big heart, you want to help, but go with a genuine help. Go go to the main big stuff that gonna help. And do not go with what in it for me. It's a human being nature. When I come to you and you feel a vibe of what in it for me, I will feel like you will take advantage of me. And I know it's not, most of the time is not, that is not the intention of American. And that is, at the same time, on the other side, is the nature of human being. You try to do something to directly or indirectly to help you or to have an interest on. But please, to my fellow American, go to Africa without what in it for me, because it will be a byproduct. It will come back automatic without knowing it. Because this is what I know about Africa. Africa is the most richest continent on the planet. Who, whatever, is going to win African genuinely is the one going to win the world. If the world has a GPD of 132 trillion dollars, Africa, that is without Africa, that is the minimum. Africa might have double of that. But to harvest, to harvest that from Africa, you have to go with genuine, and you have to go with a certain, because this is my advice to American politicians and foreign policy. Do not go with uncertain. Go with confidence and say, hey, African, talk directly to African citizens. Don't talk to leaders, because those leaders, they blackmail their citizen so they can stay. Talk directly to 2 billion African and tell them, hey, if you stabilize, we will help you how to fish, then you get one fish. Because it's not something new for America. After Second World War, when America implement aggressive policy in Japan by setting up by sending up the American Constitution that said 2 term, 4 years, and you move on. The Japanese at that time, they did not know exactly what they were, or they were what they're about to go to get. But today, I believe the Japanese right now, they appreciate America for forcing their constitution to them, and that creates a stability that thrive Japan today. And Japan is a superpower country today, can do anything and can produce anything. So you American people, when you help with a really genuine help and with aggressive help, the country succeed. Same thing. 40 years ago, you guys helped China with technology. Today, China is the top, one of the top country in technology today. So, as American citizen, American politician, you don't have something, you don't have anything to fear because you're going with a really genuine, and that is what you need to do in Africa. Because I don't want you, American, I don't want you to go to Africa just talking about AIDS, talking about we're gonna give aid. I want you to say we need one constitution in Africa, which is 4 years, two terms. Does that? Hey, if you do that, you will, in the next 30, 40 years, you will see big cities like the cities your politician take the money from your country and go enjoy it in Swiss Bank or in Dubai and all this stuff. You're gonna see those cities in your area. You're gonna enjoy those big cities. And instead, you allow it in a few people just to keep you down, and they take the resource of the country and go to the most luxurious places on the planet. So talk directly to your African citizen. Term simple simplicity is good. Term limit, it prevent wars, it stabilize the country. It let you create all unlimited of companies you want. It let you build any building you want, any building, any building. You could build another 10 tallest building on the planet if you are stable. So for American, fellow American, instead kicking the can down the road because they are afraid to offend nobody, no, you got 2 billion people over there. 2 billion. Don't worry about the 54 people, which is the 54 leaders. Worry about the 2 billion citizens that are there. These are the people you want to talk directly and tell them, we are here coming to make your country stabilize. We are here coming to let you create a job that you earn 80,000 to 100,000 like your fellow people in different countries. Because here people, average citizen make $50,000 a year to $100,000 a year. Some of them they make 300,000. Lawyers they make $300,000 a year in America. Because why? Because the economy is kind of running. Economy is good, so the job they pay good. So so average citizen can make 50,000 to 60 to $70,000 a year, which is $50,000 a year. If you take it back to Africa, to any country in Africa, 50,000 US, if you take it back to any country in Africa, that person might be one of the top richest people in Africa because the salary over there, maximum a year, maximum maybe $1,000 a year, maybe $2,000. Then is maximum a year, $5,000. That is, I believe, that the majority of people in Africa, the maximum person that are doing well in African citizen, they earn $5,000 a year. They are exceptional. They are exceptional. Those exceptional people, these are the people that either they been abroad and they came back, they went back to Africa with some ideas and they took the ideas they learned from abroad and they start doing some different stuff. These are people might make, one of them might make, yeah, $20,000 a year because there's no high consumer over there. Because how you get a high consumer if you have a good idea or if you have real company, you cannot get a good high consumer over there because the 99% of people, citizen in Africa, they are not producing to make money so they can buy. So even if you go with a great idea and you don't have a consumer, it doesn't matter. But you might survive. These are the people that are, yeah, maybe they are the richest people in Africa. The wealthiest people in Africa are the people banned overseas and they made their money overseas. Give you example, some MBS players. Yes, they come here to land of opportunity, land of freedom. They play basketball, example, and one of them earned like $100 million to $200 million. These are millionaire people. These are the wealthiest African people that are playing overseas. Some soccer players that are playing in Europe. So any person who is wealthy, probably he play in Europe or he play basketball somewhere in the US, and that's why he hit the millions of dollars. But it's not because the continent poor, it's the foreign policy, special for American people. You want to win Africa, you go with really a major objective. Don't don't go, oh, we coming for it. Don't go, oh, we need to uh these human right. What there are some human right that Africa Africa right now is not looking for doors right now because the capability of the citizen over there is not there yet. So you have to go with different. When I see some high profile American policy and go to Africa and talk about things, the citizen will not understand what you talk about because this is what happened. People are starving. They don't have time for you to listen to this. Go to those African with a really genuine project that will help them. But that project, don't don't introduce it to them until you say, I'm not gonna bring a really legit big project if your country is not stable because how can I guarantee my money back? So example, if America, example, invests $20 trillion, which is the GPT of America a year in Africa, they will get their money tenfold back. Instead, you invest 20 trillion dollars in Africa, you will get back almost $200 trillion because the land is wide open, the land is not built. So you're gonna have a job. Only continent right now can solve the job problem is Africa. There's no infrastructure, there's no garbage can companies, there is a massive flood all over the place, and that is job creation. These are job creation. There is a lack of companies, there are lack of electricity. You got sun is there, so you got even solar panel can be huge enough. Wind can be used. You got a lot of water over there. Hydro hydropower because the water, because 80% of Africa get flood. That means there's a lot of water in Africa. And if you paint it, if you pave or you pave, you put the pavement on the floor, a whole entire of Africa can hire 2 billion people. 2 billion people. Imagine if you hire 2 billion people, how much back you're gonna get back. So for American politicians, please Stop the policy of kicking the can down the road because you don't want to offend nobody. Be assertive. Be because those 54 people that are leaders, they are 54. The majority of people, if you go with genuine and tell them directly, including the soldiers, the generals, tell them, "Huh, you want to become a president, that's fine. You just take your military, take it out, and you go around and you become a president." A good example, the president uh, JFK, he was a general in Second World War, but when he came in his 60s, he detached himself from the military and become a citizen. And he went to American citizen and he introduced himself and he won the election and he became the president. So 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 if you explain this type of stuff to a black African citizen over there, they will understand it. You explain it to those military African military that being brainwashed by their dictators, you tell them, hey, you can become a president. Any soldier here can become a president. With democracy, simple democracy. You can earn $50,000 as a soldier a year because your country will stable and your citizen will become productive and the country gonna collect the taxes and the taxes will pay every soldier $50,000 a year. So would you like to have $50,000 a year as a soldier from your country, from the taxpayer of your citizen by paying you 50,000 every year? Or would you like to have $1,000 a year? So these general and those soldier will understand. But when you go and say, you know what, one foot in, one foot out, I don't want to offend nobody, or you go with the the scenario of you want to give aid and all this, that is not what Africa needs. Because if you win Africa and become stabilized, you win Africa by being a genuine partner, a truth teller, and help them genuine, you will get back tenfold from what you put out, especially what you put in Africa. You will get back 10. But you have to go with sincerity. You have to go with genuine and explain to them. And do not be afraid about to tell African people this is the best simple way to let you develop than your leaders that are just sitting on your neck and they manipulate you putting a fake constitution. Some of them have like these are fake and they pretend like they're working, but actually they go and sell you out to other countries for cheap to to make themselves like they are doing something, but actually they are selling you and selling your resource for the less, for the least, for the cheaper. So they can be look or their look can be good, and you think that person is doing something, but actually that person is selling you to somebody else for cheap. That leader is selling you for. So why don't you become your country owner that you can earn a $50,000 a year in your country by working hard, by creating something, or you can become the richest person in your country by creating your companies and by building the same cities your leaders they go and enjoy from the money they steal from you. Go and join big. I heard everybody these days going to Dubai is the hot place now. Why they don't know? Because the Emirate they decide. to invest $20 billion. So they give it to some smart people to build them that city. It's not something difficult. It's just something any country, any leader can do. The right leader who really love his citizen, he can do it for his citizen. But the African leaders, they just don't even love themselves. They think they steal the money and go invest it in different countries. Instead, invest it in his country so his citizen can benefit, build hospital, good, good health care, uh, good pay for your citizen, clean up your country, you know, infrastructure, and the most important thing that protect all this is a simple constitution, term limit, 40 years. You do good, you get the second term. You do bad, you move on, and then go and become a millionaire because now you have opportunity to go and open 100 companies, 200 companies, a million companies, and you become a millionaire. You become a billionaire. Simple. So for American citizen and American politician, please change the foreign policy of kicking the can down the road. Because I give you one example. When America become assertive in something, it happened in 2005. America decided to be assertive with Sudan to make peace, and they achieved it. That had led to a new country today. It's called South Sudan, which is being that the production of America. That time with a foreign policy, Colin Powell, when he signed the peace agreement in Nairobi that allowed them, South Sudanese, to have a period of CPA, which is a 5 years transition transitional period to 2011 when the South Sudanese, all of them decide to determine their future by voting, expecting that country will be a freedom country, will be election country because South Sudan came out by election. The citizens of South Sudan, they went to the voting booth and they vote. South Sudan did not come, the SPLA did not liberate South Sudan. They contribute, but they did not. They put in the 50%, but the citizen of South Sudan put in the other 50% by voting, and South Sudan got their independence. So there should not be any person in South Sudan, any person in South Sudan, including myself, should not have any person that said, I'm the one give South Sudan independence. The only person we appreciate who gave chances, I might say chances, who gave chances to South Sudan to become an independent country is Dr. John Garang. Was he perfect? No, but he did his best to the point he led him to the peace agreement, CPA. And after the peace, South Sudan completed the second term, which is the second period, and they voted. And that was the the job of America when America was assertive, was aggressive. I remember it was a George Bush uh, presidency because Colin Powell was a George Bush foreign policy secretary of state. Yeah, Colin Powell. Maybe some people might try to deny the history, the true history, so they might really manipulate the people. But South Sudan came out by American help. by forcing both sides to sit down and sign peace agreement in Nairobi. Dr. Geng and North Sudan government, and they signed peace agreement, and that peace agreement led to South Sudan referendum, which is vote in 2011, and that's how South Sudan got their independence. So this is for the record for the future because there will be a lot of people in the future, a lot of dictators in the future will erase the history how South Sudan came out. They might go and claim the credit, but the credit go back to America, who pressured the both sides, Dr. Gurren and North Sudan government, to sit down and really come up, agree for a really genuine peace agreement in 2005, and then the referendum in 2011, which is that referendum led to a South Sudan vote that led to a South Sudan independence. That's a good example of when America get assertive, they accomplish good stuff. So American politicians stop kicking the can down the road. Stop kicking the policy of kicking the can down the road towards Africa. Go in with a true, legit, really nothing in it for me, and be genuine and do the right thing no matter what. A lot of people might not accept it, but that is the right thing because I know there are two countries now. I say two countries. Says Japan, when you implemented American system 2 term, Japan one now is one of the top countries can go to the moon right now. So we appreciate you, and we appreciate those leaders sometimes because after 2011, President Obama did not become serious to follow up about South Sudan, become complacent about South Sudan. And that was his job. He's supposed to take over and become serious. That's why South Sudan today is not doing great because the following president did not be he did not become really genuine following up with what's going on or what President Bush started or what following up the effort of the Secretary of State Colin Powell that time. Yeah. So policy of one in it for me or a policy of interest or a policy I don't want to offend nobody, stop that policy, America. Everybody love you, trust me, because you help every human being on the planet. But you have nothing to fear about because you try to help everybody. But the space in the United States is not going to be enough for 9 billion people. So you rather to help people in their land so they can develop and build their land like you develop and you build your land and like you help other countries to stabilize and develop and build their land. That is how you're going to help 9 billion people. All right.